Welcome to Talking Technology with NCBI Labs, where we believe that technology is the single greatest enabler for people with sight loss and all disabilities. If you are interested in the latest technology news, products, and innovations, then you've come to the right place.
Hello and welcome to this bonus episode of Talking Technology with NCBI Labs. Yes, we're giving you a bonus episode today because, well, yesterday we had Apple's Wanderlust Event. Wanderlust, what an amazing word. The Wanderlust Event took place last night as we record this, and we got loads of cool new announcements. We got the new Apple Watches, we got the new iPhones, some upgrades to AirPods, and an update from Mother Nature. We'll talk about that too. So loads of really cool new stuff, and joining me to talk about all of it, I'm joined by the legendary Joe Lonergan and Mairead O'Mahony. Hello, folks.
Hi. Hello.
Hi. Hi, David. How are you?
Not bad at all. Guys, did you get a chance to watch the event? How are you feeling after it? The morning after the night before, in Apple fanboys terms.
Yeah, it was a great event as usual. It was very entertaining. Sometimes we're getting a little bit repetitive at this stage, but I found it quite good, yeah. And I enjoyed their interpretation on Mother Nature, and it was quite good.
Yeah, it was quite entertaining, actually. Mairead, did you get a chance to watch the event, or did you just read the news articles, or?
No, I was tuned into bits and pieces of it, all right, so it was great, just to see all the new bits of new parts of technology being unveiled. So it was just good to see the lineup of what's ahead to come.
Absolutely. And they had it with a great audio description as well, which is always great for those of us who are visually impaired. It was really fantastic audio description as always. And I saw as well that it was available with American Sign Language, which is really cool. So there you go. But the Apple Wanderlust event. So loads of new products. They started off really by updating us on some of the stuff that we had already heard from the Worldwide Developers Conference. So the new Macs and things and bits and pieces like that. It was really just telling us how great the reviews were for it and all that stuff that you'd expect. Really just press promotion and so on. But we got into the real meat of the event fairly quickly when we started looking at the Apple Watch Series 9. So loads of really cool new features. Joe, do you want to tell us some of what we've got coming in the Apple Watch Series 9? We're starting with really cool new Siri upgrades.
Yeah, Siri, that's one I'm very happy about. Some of the Siri commands now will work offline, so you won't need to be connected to your mobile data or your Wi-Fi. You'll be able to do certain things, like obviously the basic thing like telling the time, starting a workout. Like you can say something like Siri, start outdoor walk. It'll start straight away. There's my phone trying to do it.
I think you're just starting to work out there. You better start running, Joe.
Very good. Yeah. Can I do this outside? Yeah, walk.
Yeah,
do this podcast.
Yeah, go for it. There, good. Bring the microphone.
I'll go for it. And you can say Siri, end outdoor walk. So there we go. That's the shortest walk in history. But so you can also set a. Remind me the word. It's not a marker. A waypoint. Waypoint. That's it. Yeah, you can set a waypoint. So there was a new feature released last year about setting waypoints. So if you're the adventurous type and like to go for a walk in the woods or anywhere else, a park, you can set waypoints to find your way back to the beginning. So now you can set a waypoint offline. So that's handy because a lot of these places, derelict areas are up high. You mightn't have masts for mobile data. So if you're that adventurous type and like a bit of hiking, you can set your waypoints offline, and that's great. Any other Siri commands?
That you
timers.
can update the health app.
Update the health app as well. Yeah. So for yourself, do you want to speak about that, Mairead?
Yeah, so like we'll say if you wanted to keep, we'll say, track of your period cycle or whatever, you could just get Siri to update that, and it'll you could tell it that your period is on such a date, and then it'll automatically update it, and it'll just, it'll remind you then every month as well. So that's a good feature for anyone that, needs it, or if you wanted to add any information to your health app, you could just update that as well. So it's very useful to have.
Even things like, I think, you can add, when you take medication. So, for example, like in my case, I take daily eye drops, but I'm not religious about taking the or adding the drops to the health app when I do take them. And I think having Siri be able to do that is going to be really cool.
Really convenient.
Yeah, I wonder will we be able to do it with HomePod? I'll be interested to see. But I think that's a really cool new one. Won't work offline, that one, I don't think. But a lot of the new features with Siri, they're powered by upgrades to the new SIP in the device. They don't call this one a chip. They call it a SIP, a system on a PCB or something like that, I think it's called. But
excellent, David. I thought your man was mispronouncing it yesterday.
Yeah, it's actually called a SIP. But yeah, it's interesting because that new upgrade, so they're moving to the S9 now. The previous one was the S8 chip. But this new one, it's going to enable another really cool new feature. Obviously, the neural upgrades in it will benefit Siri and so on, but they're adding some really cool new features around double tap. So, Joe, do you want to kind of describe what this gesture is?
Well, double tap, like we're familiar with the name double tap, but this doesn't mean the same thing as all us blind and vision impaired people are used to. I think what most people refer to double tap is just double tapping with one finger on the screen. But this one is actually for everybody now. It's not an accessibility feature. So what they mean here, you'll have your watch on your arm. But if you want to do certain tasks like answer a phone call or pause or answer a phone call and then some other ones, you can adapt it to do certain custom actions. But the double tap will be like a pinch with your first finger and your thumb. But you'll do it in a quick 1-2 action, if you know what I mean. So a quick pinch and double tap. So and that will send a signal to your phone, and you can answer a call, and you can also hang up a call, with it really quickly.
Just on that feature.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just on that feature, it would be interesting to see. Sometimes if you're out walking or whatever, and you're recording a workout and you're using voiceover, if you accidentally touch the screen at all, the watch starts doing its own thing and talking out loud. So it would be interesting to see if that would kind of lock the screen as well now, in a way that it would be harder to get the watch to talk when you don't want it to talk. Kind of put it in a lock position.
Do you see kind of benefits for this, Mairead? Like, I think the idea here is they want this new double tap feature to really activate what they said is the main buttons in apps. So answering calls, playing, pausing music, presumably to have some actions in things like workouts and stuff like that as well. Do you see yourself using a feature like this, Mairead?
I think it could be, I think it could be useful, like, because you wouldn't accidentally, sometimes it's very sensitive to touch the voiceover. So you could accidentally answer a call or something without realizing it. So I think it will be very useful for, if you accidentally, when you answer a call, you mean to answer it. It's just not that the watch tipped off of something that it answered it. So I think it might be quite useful. It'll, and hopefully it might actually lock it into position a bit more, that it won't start, a slight tip off it and it starts talking or, opening the home screen.
Yeah, I think this is
I presume you can disable it and enable it as well if you really wanted it, if it didn't suit you.
I'd imagine so. They'd have to allow you to do that. I think this is clear to me. I think that this is also trying to get people comfortable with making hand movements ahead of the Vision Pro launch. Because the Vision Pro will be coming, they still say it's on track for early next year. So I think this is the first sign of, you're going to be using hand gestures now, so you better get used to it. But I think so.
I think you're right, David.
Yeah. They've also made the screen a little bit brighter. It's up to 2,000 nits now. and can go down to just a single knit if that's if you're into your knits and you want to if it's, and seriously, like, this could be beneficial for those with low vision. The brighter screen might be more useful, and it's double the brightness of the previous Series 8, which is a massive leap. Joe, do you see much in the way of benefit for this?
Well, I'm not into me knits, David, since you asked, but yeah, no, I do think, in fairness now, for some vision impaired people, a brighter screen will definitely be of use. And with all the different watch faces, there is some out there that have black faces with white hands and all that kind of stuff. So any of those things that make it brighter for someone to see, it will be definitely useful to some people with low vision. To myself, it won't make much difference to me, but sometimes I even put a screen curtain on my watch as well, but usually I don't. I don't think the nits will make much difference to me, but there definitely is a case out there for some low vision people, especially on the bigger watches.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, there are loads of new features in these devices, and we're not going to be able to cover everything on the podcast today. But Mairead, if I could ask you, is there anything like that you'd like to see in the standard Apple Watch? We'll move on to the Apple Watch Ultra in a minute, but is there anything you'd like to see on the standard Apple Watch that you didn't see yesterday?
Well, yeah, like for voiceovers users, I would definitely love to see an option where you could lock the screen so it doesn't accidentally wake up, even though when you have the tap to wake feature switched off, it's still kind of, the minute you tip it, it unlocks, and it's, it could easily, especially if you're being guided by somebody and you have the watch on the same arm, it's yapping away. So I'd love to see kind of a lock feature on it, because it would be really beneficial.
Yeah.
That would make it harder to wake up. I suppose for that's kind of my main thing that I'd like to see in it, really. I suppose.
So for
I'd like to see
it's a software feature, really. Like, would you say you're happy enough with the Apple Watch hardware then?
Yeah, I would be quite happy with the hardware. Yeah. Now I suppose, look, there's always new improvements that could be made, but straight off the bat, I haven't any in my head there.
Sure, that's fair.
David, I'd like to see battery improvement. That's the one thing I was hoping to see, even another 4 hours or something.
Yeah,
18 hours. I know it's almost a full day for everybody, but for voiceover users,
yeah,
it doesn't always get to 18 hours, but most of the time it does. But for the Ultra, 36 hours is quite good. I was hoping to get some sort of an improvement like that if they're going to release a new watch. But the battery, I was a bit disappointed about that.
That's fair. That's really fair. An interesting one. We'll move on to the Ultra in a second, but there was a little skit between the two watches where Mother Nature, played by Octavia Spencer, came to the Apple Park to meet with Tim Cook and the executive team at Apple to quiz them on their green credentials, shall we say. And this was used effectively to announce that the new Apple Watch Series 9 is going to be carbon neutral, and they're doing a few things to really bring this step forward. Firstly, they're offsetting all of the electricity used when charging the devices, when users are charging the devices. All of the expected usage is being offset by Apple, which is pretty cool. And also, manufacturing is now using 100% green energy as well, which is really cool stuff. Joe, do you think this stuff has much importance?
Oh, it does. It definitely has a massive importance. They're also pumping some money into Kenya and other African countries to bring down their target was 2030 to have Apple as carbon zero. So they said they're well on track.
Yeah.
Also reduced the amount of water used. I can't remember the exact number. It was billions of gallons of water rather than millions of gallons. So that's obviously a good thing for the world.
Sure.
They stopped using leather in their Apple Watch straps. can't remember the actual name of the product they used, but somebody joked it's not any cheaper. But it is. They have a nice new straps, but they're not leather. So I definitely makes a difference. Like, I mean, with so many Apple users out there, it's good to have them have people thinking about carbon and how they can improve the world, because they have a big influence on people.
For sure. Mairead, would this play into your buying decisions? Is it something you consider when buying a product? Like, would the fact that the product is now carbon neutral, would that make you more likely to purchase this over a watch that isn't carbon neutral?
Well, yeah, I suppose we're always, conscious of the environment and how much waste there is and things. So I think it is good to see, that good is being done. And, Apple are very mindful of how much waste there is, and, that a lot of the material is recycled. So, yeah, I think it is, it's good to kind of go that direction.
Absolutely, for sure. Alrighty, let's move on to the Apple Watch Ultra. I felt like the Apple Watch Ultra 2, in some respects, it was a bit of a lesser upgrade compared to the Series 9, but it is getting the same S9 SIP. So any of the features that we talked about previous to now, they will all be coming to the Ultra 2. So in some respects, I guess, it is a big upgrade, but it's also getting a even brighter screen. This one will go up to 3,000 nits. Not a massive amount of new features here, Joe. Was there anything that stood out to you?
The price came down by €100, I think.
Yeah,
it's going to be fair. Down by €100. Time will tell if that's exactly true, but this is what we hear.
So pre-order
and it makes
is
a big,
now.
big psychological difference when it's $899 instead of $999. So maybe there might be a few more buyers, and I presume they brought it down because sales weren't as good as they expected.
Well, you would think
before.
So
I think it's the Apple Watch Ultra. It's for people that are into high endurance, hiking, mountain climbing, all that kind of stuff. So the 36 hours battery life, I think it doubles when you put it in low power mode.
Up to 72. Yeah.
Up to 72 hours, yeah. So ultra wideband chip inside in it as well. So we can talk a bit more about that later. So I'm not sure. Is there anything else you liked about it, David, yourself?
I don't know. This one didn't really excite me in the same way. I do think that the ultra wideband chip and stuff like that, I think, is cool, and we'll talk about that more in a second. But no, this one didn't really impress me massively. They have introduced a few new software features. So they are introducing a new updated modular watch face, which will be able to provide more information on the screen at the same time. And also, if you use things like the Depth app on the Apple Watch, it will now keep a log of your dive sessions and things like that in the Fitness app, and that will also be available on your Apple Watch. Mairead, do you trust your Apple Watch in water? I don't know whether none of us here are divers. Maybe you are, Mairead, I don't know.
I actually do. I go swimming with mine.
Do you?
And I have the Series 4.
Oh,
so I just put it onto the water mode, the swim mode, when I'm doing the workout. And then you just unlock it after. Now, I do find that, because when you're unlocked, you have to kind of twist the crown until you hear the water eject. Now, you don't have any voiceover when you're doing this, but the voiceover will come back on when you triple press the crown button again. But I do kind of find that maybe for about a half an hour after, the speaker does sound a little bit kind of fuzzy or whatever, but it does, it does resolve itself again. So I do use it in the pool, all right. But now that's only just, we'll say, the main swimming pool. I have never used it in the sea or anything, so I don't know what I trusted there, because it's a lot deeper.
Yours is a Series
shallower.
4, and we're now, that's going back probably 4 or 5 years ago. So they've improved it significantly even since then.
Yeah.
So that's fascinating that you trust it so much. I don't even trust mine in the shower. And mine is the 5, but you're braver than me, Mairead, clearly.
I didn't initially trust it when I tried it, but I said to myself, well, look, it's under warranty, so I'm doing what is meant to be done with it. So
fair enough. Fair enough.
You're very cautious. You're very cautious, David.
So I just tried it.
Yeah. What about yourself, Joe? Do you use it near or in water?
I haven't gone swimming with it on my arm yet, to be honest. But I trust it in the shower and stuff. But saying that, I do take it off most of the time. I trust it. I do trust it, yeah, to be honest.
Fair enough. Awesome.
Yeah. I wouldn't use it in the shower, but it's great for tracking how many lengths of the pool you did or whatever, and how long it took you in the distance. So, for me, when I go swimming, it's a motivation.
Yeah,
to know.
For sure.
But I wouldn't use it in the shower.
So yeah, some interesting new ones in there. Do we want to talk about the ultra wideband chip?
Yeah, go on. David. Yeah, the ultra wideband chip has new features in the Find My, and also when you get closer to your HomePod. I'll let you take that one, David.
Yeah, sure. So the new ultra wideband chip, there was a U1 chip in the Apple Watch and iPhones for a good few years now, but this new ultra wideband chip, it's basically enabling precision finding. So devices will be able to know how far away they are from one another, basically. But a few new features coming here, as Joe said there. So on the Apple Watch side, you'll be familiar with the concept of being able to ping your iPhone if you misplace it or whatever. You can now use precision finding, which will apparently use haptics to guide you to your phone, which is really cool. And as Joe said there as well, they are introducing the ability for you to just touch your Apple Watch off your Air or your HomePod rather, and this has kind of existed in some fashion on iPhone for a while, but they're bringing the feature to the Apple Watch, so you can play music. It gives you media controls basically, and if there's something playing on your HomePod, you can just touch the Apple Watch off it, and then you will also gain those media controls and be able to control it from your watch. Pretty cool stuff in many respects, isn't it?
It is. It's great, actually. I think going close I have a HomePod. I think going close to the HomePod and suggesting your favourite podcast or music when you come into the house or go close to the HomePod, I think that's quite cool.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. They are also introducing, and this will be in conjunction with iPhone, and we'll talk more about iPhone in a minute, but it is also getting the new ultra wideband chip, and it is now going to have almost AirTag style feature for finding people. So if you're in a crowded environment, your two phones will be able to work together. So yours and the other person's phone will be able to work together and guide you to one another. Mairead, do you think this, particularly, I guess if we look at this from the perspective of people who have low vision or no vision, do you think this could be beneficial in that way?
I definitely think so, especially if you'd never met somebody before, and if there's two people with absolutely no sight, it might kind of help in that situation as well. Because you'll have a rough idea of where they are somewhere. So I actually think it could be very useful.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if this will work with some of the older phones. My worry is that it won't, but Apple haven't been particularly clear on this just yet. So it's going to be a question of wait and see as to whether you will be able to find, let's say, someone with a slightly older phone.
That could be interesting.
But yeah, hard to know. So lots of really cool new features coming to the Apple Watch and Apple Watch Ultra. But I guess the big one with all of these events is, of course, the iPhone. Everyone loves the iPhone. So we got two new iPhones yesterday, the iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pro. Those also have bigger cousins. For the iPhone 15, that will be the iPhone 15 Plus, which has a slightly larger screen. Of course, that will be beneficial for those with low vision. And And also then for the iPhone 15 Pro, that's going to have the 15 Pro Max. Again, a bigger screen and a slightly better camera. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Joe, firstly, USB-C. Let's talk about USB-C. Are you a fan or no?
I am a fan, yes. The reason I'm a fan is because it's becoming more universal. So anywhere I go, I can probably get my hands on a USB-C cable. Part of me is like getting rid of Lightning. I'm invested in Lightning as well, and that's going. But USB-C going forward, I think it'd be a good thing. The 15 has just a USB-C 2, and I think the 15 Pro has USB 3.0.
Yeah.
So 3.0 will allow you to plug external devices, maybe external hard drives, or you might be able to record on it and go straight into a hard drive, that kind of thing. Whereas the 2.0 will be less capable, but still very good. The other thing that I do find great, I'm not sure if you want to talk about this later or not, but I think this will be amazing, is USB-C. You can charge your AirPods or your Apple Watch from your phone by plugging in the USB-C part of the phone and then plugging the other USB-C side into the AirPods, or in the case of the Apple Watch, the puck, the USB-C side into the phone and the puck side sit your watch on the puck side,
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be a great feature. So if you get your anxiety of running out of battery anxiety with your AirPods, you're on a long journey, and same with the watch, you can charge them up, give them 10 minutes, as long as your phone has plenty of battery, of course.
Yeah.
You can give them 10-15 minutes into the phone, and off you go. You have a bit more charge again, which is great. That's one cool feature that I'm really happy about.
It's really almost like using your phone like a power bank, Mairead, isn't it? It's like
I was just going to say, yeah.
It's like, obviously the phone, I'm sure this won't work with tons of products, but really cool to see this start off with AirPods and Apple Watch. Do you think this is a feature you'd find yourself using?
Definitely, because especially if you're traveling, you're not like carrying multiple different cables with you, and the Apple Watch charger as well. So you just have the one cable. And also, I think what's really good is I think they're going to support up to 35 watt fast charging, which is really good for the new
brilliant.
iPhones. Now, I'm not sure if it's in all of them or not, but it's definitely in the Pro that they're hopefully going to have 35 watt charging, which is going to be really good. So your phone could be charged from 0 to 100% in an hour.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's really
cool.
That's
really good.
Yeah, that's awesome. The dynamic island is coming to the 15 standard now. It used to be included only in the 15 Pro. Mairead, have you had the experience of using a phone with the dynamic island?
No, I haven't had any experience of that one yet.
Okay. Is it something, Joe, have you tried it? Like, is it something that you'd be interested in trying? Or how do you think this will be of benefit, or do you think it will?
I don't think it's that much benefit for someone with voiceover or vision impairment, but possibly there is a countdown feature, isn't there, for timers and stuff like that. This one could end up being bounced back to you, David. Maybe, what about yourself? Have you tried it?
Yeah, no, I haven't tried it either. So, look, it's going to be one of these ones. I think it's going to now become more universal. More people will be trying it, and this might see more developers utilizing it in different ways and stuff like that too, but
yeah, that's one for another day. I think we might, when we get our hands on a feature, and we might find a use for it. We'll pull it out of the bag and maybe write an article.
Great that it's coming though. I think it can only be a good thing. Then there are upgrades to the camera. I guess we'll include the 15 Pro here as well, and 15 Pro Max. So first of all, 48 megapixel coming to the standard 15. The 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max are also getting upgrades. Notably, on the 15 Pro Max, there will be a 5x optical zoom. That may be of benefit to those, in particular, people who are using the magnifier app might find this kind of useful.
Yeah, definitely. I think I know there's people out there with low vision, but we'll say they have some good functional vision that but they still can't see things at a distance. So maybe, for example, you open the magnifier app and you point it at the bus that's coming up the road. This can only be good to maybe gain more focus on the number of the bus or anything in particular that you want to see at a distance, of course. Maybe it's a sign or anything like that. So, yeah, it'll definitely benefit the magnifier app. Also, any improvements to the camera are always welcome to totally blind people as well, because if you're going to use apps that use OCR, optical character recognition, like Scene AI, Document Reader, or the new Beam Eyes feature that's on the way. It's in beta at the moment, and hopefully it does come out soon. All those features will be helped by a better camera and will return better results. That would be my thinking on it.
Yeah, for sure. Mairead, I guess, really, look, we're not going to be able to cover everything in the new phones here. They are going to be a bit faster, especially on the 15 Pro side. Are you happy with the speed of iPhone at the moment? Do you think it needs to get faster? Was there anything here that really pushed you to upgrade?
For me, yeah, there was no kind of really significant hardware upgrades, which is kind of a pity. Now, there is a very good chip in it, or a much faster chip in it, which is, welcome development. But for me, I will be upgrading anyway because I need to, because battery in my own one. But there is nothing in it for me that would kind of say, well, I really want to upgrade. There's no really new hardware features, which is a pity. So... Okay. But it is still a very good phone. But yeah, hardware wise, there's a lot of software, new features in the software, but there's nothing really hardware wise.
Okay, interesting.
What about the action button, Mairead? Any interest in the action button?
Oh yeah, sorry, I did have interest in that. So that one is where you could instead of silencing the phone with the little switch on the side, they're going to have a button there. So you'll be able to mute there and power on and off the phone that way as well. I think you could use Siri with that as well, isn't it?
You'll be able to use shortcuts. So there are going to be 9 actions available on it. So muting, unmuting, as you were able to do originally, is going to be a feature. You will just be able to hold it. But its 9 features in total are going to be mute, unmute, turning on and off do not disturb, activating the camera, recording a voice memo, turning on and off the flashlight, opening messages or specific messages, search or magnifier, activating accessibility features, or running Siri shortcuts. There's a lot in there, much more versatile than previously. But
yes,
I think
that is a good feature.
I think the usefulness of it is going to tell itself with time. I think I'll be really interested to know, will this replace something like, triple click home or triple click side button? Are those days behind us if we can just use an accessibility button now? Yeah,
I think you could be right, David. Yeah,
it's going to be an interesting time ahead.
One press of that or 2 presses of the new button. I think it could be.
It'll replace a lot of things. Yeah,
definitely, and they're probably customizable as well, I presume.
I hope that they enable multiple actions. That it's a press, a double press, and a hold, that you can have multiple actions. That it doesn't just limit you to one thing. But time will tell on all of these things. So, look, a really exciting Wanderlust event. As we say, we can't cover absolutely everything in this podcast, but we will have a YouTube video out either later today or tomorrow, covering more of the features and giving you a more detailed run through. Go ahead, Joe. Sorry.
AirPods, only one change, wasn't it, to the AirPods case? Do you want to mention that, David?
USB-C. So it is the same AirPods Pro 2. They are getting USB-C now as well. So for that new charging standard, you won't have to still keep a lightning cable around. And also USB-C is coming to the ear pods as well, so the wired ones, which I think is a nice addition. Older product, but it's also getting that upgrade, which is cool to see. So yeah, loads of really cool stuff. So yeah, do check out, be sure to subscribe to the NCBI Labs YouTube channel for our recap of the Wanderlust event. As I say, that'll be coming either later today or tomorrow with all, hopefully, we're working on that hard, so hopefully that'll be out soon. And as always, if you need support from NCBI Labs, you can send an email to labs@ncbi.ie or give us a call, 1-800-911-110. That's 1-800-911-110. We'll be back next week with a more standard episode of Talking Technology. This was just a bonus episode for the Apple event, but hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoyed getting our perspectives. Thanks to Joe and Mairead. Thank you for joining me, folks.
Thank you, David.
Thank you.
And we'll be back next week, same time, same place. So do be sure to subscribe. And thank you so much for listening. For now, that's it. But we'll see you next week. Thanks for listening. Bye now.
Thanks for listening to the Talking Technology podcast with NCBI Labs. If you would like to support our show, you can visit donate.ncbi.ie. The NCBI Labs Talking Technology podcast is proudly sponsored by IA Labs, the market leader in the provision of digital accessibility services.